What's up, guys? It is Carly here bringing you day 30 of my 31 days of horror, and today I'm going to be talking about a movie that I recently picked up at a convention, and that is Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge here. Yeah, I got this at the convention I went to in Gettysburg, and I'd never seen it before, really heard much about it. I think I have seen like the cover of the movie around, but other than that, I didn't really know anything about this movie, and JP said I might as well grab it because it's one of those cool ones that takes place in the mall, and I do like the mall setting, so decided to pick it up. And so yeah, Phantom of the Mall. This movie came out in 1989, and pretty much the story with this one is you have this mall that is doing its grand opening, and this girl Melody, along with her friend, get jobs at the mall, and weird stuff starts happening around the mall. Certain items are coming up missing, like clothes and things like that, just unexplained. It's like they're stolen, but they don't know who stole them, and then people are also being murdered in the mall, so obviously there are some issues. You learn this character Melody had this boyfriend, Eric, who was mysteriously supposedly killed in a house fire, and Melody was there, and he pretty much gets her out, but he is stuck inside the fire, so everyone assumes he is dead. And this mall is built over the area where the house was, so you kind of learn that maybe this Eric character is still alive, and he has something to do with what's going on, because anything that occurs, Melody is pretty much saved from. There's a part where she is attacked by a guy in the parking lot, and he is shot with, you know, a bow and arrow, and by some mysterious person. So you get the idea that maybe Eric is still around and he is protecting Melody, and that's kind of what's going on with this movie. First of all, I do really enjoy the setting, the mall setting. I think it's just an interesting setting that you don't really see a lot in horror movies, and oddly enough, Ken Foree's in this movie, and he is obviously in Dawn of the Dead, so it's just kind of funny seeing him in another mall type of horror movie. He doesn't have a huge part or anything like that, but I kind of noticed it, and I thought I was crazy at first, but I looked it up, and it was him. And I also like that this mall is actually just an open mall. You know, it's got its grand opening, and it's lively, where opposed to movies like Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that, you have a mall that there's not really anyone in, and they're just kind of using it to escape the zombies and stuff. So I like that aspect of it too, where there are people around in this mall, and it's pretty much kind of plays out like a slasher, where you have this mysterious person lurking in the dark and killing people. The kills in the movie, I think, are actually pretty decent and kind of, you know, inventive and interesting. The only thing is you don't really see a lot. There's not like a ton of gore or anything like that. They're your typical cutaway kills like you get with movies like Halloween and stuff like that, where it's not really focused on gore, but you can kind of make it up in your head, which I don't really mind. Some people are really big on their gore, and they have that as a major critique with slasher movies. For me, sometimes I prefer to kind of just make up what happened to the person in my head, so I really don't mind that with this film. You know, the idea behind it with this character of Eric still lurking around, and he's obviously injured by the fire, and it's kind of like a take on Phantom of the Opera, where half of his face is messed up and he covers it with a mask. I think it's creepy, and I think it's creepy seeing him sort of lurk around in these dark areas of the mall and then just kind of attack people without them suspecting it. And later on in the movie, you do get a reveal of what his face looks like, and I think they do a pretty decent job. For the most part, he's kind of in the dark, so you can't see a whole lot, but what you do see is actually kind of disturbing and more well done than I was expecting, so enjoyed that as well. Overall, I thought this was solid. I enjoyed watching it. It's a movie, like I said, I didn't really know much about, and it was kind of just a fun pickup. The quality of the movie was actually pretty decent as well, so I was pleased with that. So this film I give a 7 out of 10. There's really not too much I don't like about it. Maybe some of the dark aspects, you can't really see too much of what's going on, and you know, maybe there's not all that much character development, but overall I think it is a pretty decent, I guess you could call it a slasher, sort of revenge type of film. That's another thing. You do get a scene with a fire, and the fire is done pretty well as well with, you do see the house burn down and stuff, and I think that was also done pretty well. So 7 out of 10 for Phantom of the Mall. Thank you guys once again for joining me for day 30 here, and I will see you tomorrow for the final day of 31 Days of Horror, and that'll be day 31. So thank you guys, and see you then.